That's for sure. So this is a unusual occasion that I'm going to speak a little bit about history, spiritual, physical, national, about Asa. The, it is connected with the current situation, but it's also a general understanding. And obviously, I'm not talking about any specific person, people. I'm just like the whole story. Okay. So the first point is that we have a story in the beginning of the creation, the beginning of the history of the world, that it says in the Bereshit, Nephilim ayu az ba'aretz. The fallen ones were in the land then. Who is the fallen ones? So there is a midrash. Go down in different places, different ways, that Nephilim is fallen angels. What is the names of those fallen angels? One of them is called Asa. The other one is Asa and the name Kel. Anyhow, we see that Asa, besides of being the name of that angel, is something that is basically within the Tanakh. Shimshon HaGibor, he went to Asa. It was for basically all of the generations of Am Israel, Asa was the place of the Plishtim. Okay? It's not 100% sure, but it seems very clear for many people agree on that Plishtim is what is called today Palestine, Palestinian, Plishtim, basically the same, very similar word. And this is a nation that Am Israel was fighting for years and years. You look in the Tanakh, all the time there was wars between Am Israel and the Plishtim. So what does it mean? Does it mean that it's a part of our destiny? Maybe. Does it mean that it's part of our tikkun? For sure. It's very hard for us, Am Israel, to go full force and to destroy a nation. We see that in the Tanakh all the time. Yoshua, Hashem commanded him to conquer Eretz Israel and to get rid of all of the Canaanites that were here. He didn't do it fully. He did it quite good. He did a lot of work, but he didn't finish the work. Shmuel, the first king of Am Israel, Hashem commanded him, Shaul, the first king of Am Israel. Hashem told him, get rid of Amalek. He couldn't do it. He had mercy on the sheep, and they were magicians. They used witchcraft to turn themselves to be a sheep. This that, and they managed to get away, and so on and so forth. We have this story again and again in the history of Am Israel. So, what can we do? Hashem created us, Am Israel. We know that there's three signs of being Jewish. Baishanim, Rachmanim, Gomlei Chasadim. Baishan is someone that is shy. He's embarrassed to do some things. Rachmanim is to be merciful. Gomlei Chasadim is to do kindness. So this is the nature of Am Israel. To be embarrassed on doing things that are it seems too vulgar or something like that. We have natural mercy, compassion, and we want to do kindness. Sometimes people are ignoring their nature and going against their nature. And sometimes we should go against our nature, like in those examples. One of the things that we are praising Avraham Avinu, right, Parashat Shavua, is that even though his nature was chesed, kindness, but when Hashem told him to do an act of gvura, to do something that needs gvura, to strength and to, he did it because he understood that this is what Hashem wants. So he went outside of his nature to do whatever is necessary to do. So this is something that is not obvious. It's to go against our nature, but sometimes this is what Hashem is demanding us to do. So it's very, very difficult, the situation that we are facing now in Gaza. And there's many people that they look on the news, all kinds of different sources of information, and they see pictures and clips and this and that of what's going on there, and so many people are suffering, and so many people lost their home, and it seems terrible. How can we do such a thing to cause so much pain and suffering to those miserable people in Gaza? It's very hard. I don't know. If I was the one that needs to take the responsibility and to make the decisions there, I don't know if I had the strength to do the right decision. It's a very hard test. It's a very hard decision to make. But you hear you hear some of the children's that are there in Gaza, that the way that they educate the children is that the children are already saying, when I'm going to be big and strong, I'm going to kill Jews. I'm going to murder this, that, all kinds of different things. So they are trained from youth to do that. So what can you do? You have mercy on the children, you let them grow, and then they get strong and they try to kill you. What can you do? It's a very, very difficult situation. I don't have the answer. What I know is that Hashem have a master plan, and everything is part of the master plan of Hashem, without any exceptions. And even though for us many times it looks terrible and we cannot comprehend, how can it be? How can it be? So much evil, so much wrong, so much pain, so much suffering. How can it be? How can Hashem let it happen? How can Hashem let something like that take place in this creation? Not only this war, all of the wars of the world. Like you hear stories about World War I, World War II, all of those, like millions of people that died, and so on and so forth. So it's something that we cannot comprehend, we cannot grasp. So for me, the way that I find that I can relate to all of that is to remind myself that really all of this suffering that is taking place is suffering in the physical level, the physical dimension. And all of this physical dimension, all of the physical world around us is temporary, is something that it's a certain stage that we have to go through within our everlasting existence, which is spiritual. So whatever is happening in the physical realm, obviously I would like for myself and all of the people of the world to have good, comfortable, happy life, that everybody are enjoying themselves and have peace within, peace around, everything peaceful, and for sure. But that's not what really it's about. It's about how much can we manage to connect to Hashem within all of this craziness that is taking place all around us. This is the test. And it seems like, how can it be? How can it be that Hashem will make something like that, let something like that happen, and and we need within that to connect to Hashem, but somehow, specifically in those situations, then people are connecting to Hashem. For some reason, every time that the life is too comfortable and everybody are too peaceful, so instead of connecting to Hashem, we're using the abundance that Hashem gave us to do something else. And specifically in the times that there is a difficulty and there is a challenge and we have to gather ourselves and to put ourselves together, just then we're connecting to Hashem. So if this is the way that we are connecting to Hashem, and the purpose is that we will connect to Hashem, so Hashem have to, as if Hashem have to bring us into those crazy situations, all kinds of wars and phenomena and poverty and all kinds of different things that are unbearable, because this is the way that we are doing what we need to do to connect to Hashem. So for me, the answer is like it says in the beginning of the Etz Chaim, quotes from the Zohar, that the lack of learning Kabbalah is the reason for all of those negative things that are taking place in the world. And it seems to many people like, what's the connection? How you connect those two things? Because there's not enough people learning Kabbalah, so now there's a war. The answer is that if more people will connect to Hashem, and when you learn Kabbalah, you learn how to connect to Hashem, so then there's no need to have a war to press people to connect to Hashem. So for me, when we are putting our mind in that main task, how can I connect to Hashem in a higher level? And we do the research with all of the insight of the deepest places of the Torah. This is what will help us and the whole world to go out of all of the craziness, all of the wars, all of the suffering. Zrat Hashem, קרוב בימינו אמן. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן.